I am in no way, shape, or form a lore enthusiast. I am just a guy that likes to make videos on things that I'm interested in. And when we were going through the main story, the most confusing quest to me was the Scar Qichi village one, because I'm stupid and he did a bunch of hidden truths and these stories that he made up based off of clues that we found. And then we had to draw our own conclusion, and then he told us a story based on those. But after he left, we found out more about the situation in Qichi village through this diary that was hidden in the cave under the village. And it happened to be this same diary that the torn page from that little girl that we found, it is the same diary. So with the addition of this diary, I wanted to draw my own conclusion of what happened in the village. So I want to make some speculation slash theory craft on some bullshit that probably isn't true. But if you have paid attention to the CBTs and you hear me out, you might actually draw the same conclusion and like be like, oh, hey, you might be right. Like, this doesn't have to be true because it's a theory, but it would be amazing if it is true because it ties in a lot. So here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna start with the evidence, and then I will go in depth and go back to when we first came here and go through what I think happened in this village. Like I said, I'm no lore enthusiast. I'm no content creator. I just make videos. Okay, so don't expect this to be high quality or extravagant. Oh my God, he did it. He solved the mystery. So in the torn page we found, she explained that her uncle gave her this diary. They had to go on a super long journey to get here. They're not from Jinzhou, and where they used to live got attacked by tacit discords, and then she got separated from her family, which is her mother and father, and yeah, they came here. She says that everyone in the village calls her the lucky charm, and they all like her, and she keeps the monsters away. And how does a little girl keep the monsters away? It's implying that this little girl is actually strong enough to defeat the monsters, so she has some type of ability. And then later on, a strange man came to the village and told her that she can call him brother. He was friendly, but for some reason he felt different from the people in the village. He seemed to know a lot about her and even said to her that they're one of the same kind. He told her strange fairy tales that were kind of scary, and he even said that reality is even scarier. And he asked her, what would you do if you were the little black lamb? And before she even got to reply, he just left and said, see you next time. She told her father about it, which is her uncle, because he decided to just adopt her because her parents wasn't showing up anytime soon, so he just adopted her. She asked him about the guy, and nobody really knew. Apparently she was the only person that saw the guy. And then we fast forward to her saying, I'm sorry, and if I weren't so weak, I could have driven off the tacit discords. If Sissy didn't have to protect me, implying that Sissy died trying to protect her from the tacit discords. She figures that there must be a way, and her father said that she can manipulate the frequencies of tacit discords and human. And in order to try to save Sissy, she fused her with a tacit discord. And she tells Sissy that this is only temporary, and she wants to find a way for her to basically resurrect her. And then 3 months later, she writes in a diary again saying that her father orders her to do what he says and uses her powers to recombine the frequencies of tacit discord. And she's still thinking about if anyone finds out the truth about Sissy and how she went missing and actually died trying to protect her, and then she turned her into a horrifying tacit discord, and they would call her a monster and banish her if they found out. She says that no one would understand except him, which is probably the brother. And she questions if the dead can really come back through frequency manipulation. And if so, what would happen to their shattered souls trapped inside their new bodies? Every day she feels more and more uneasy. The people in the village are disappearing, and those tacit discords that her father are bringing back, she can't shake the feeling that if they gotta be the villagers. She can't shake the feeling that something is wrong and she's trapped. And she says that she's unable to escape from this dark path. She doesn't know what her father did, but it has to be something terrible because she can feel the tension and unease. And he told her that she's not allowed to go outside anymore, and every time she asks about it, he just avoids the question. She basically says if the price for her wish to come true is more bloodshed, she wouldn't really want it, and it insinuates that she kind of told everybody the truth. And then the villagers started surrounding their house. They seem to have learned about everything that happened, and they're now calling her the murderer and also calling her father the murderer. And she wants someone to come and save her, and if there's a price that she has to pay for Qichi village, she wonders if there's a god in hopes that they can save the village. And then in the last entry in the diary, we see, it seems you are the luckier one. So it insinuates that she kind of got saved by someone. So that is all of the evidence that we learned when Scar left. So let's go back and piece everything together. When we pulled up to the village, we saw a tacit discord that Yang assumed was shaped from the frequencies of the humans in the village. I think this tacit discord actually captured the frequencies of the little girl from the diary, because it's calling out for its brother, which was the guy that randomly visited the village and told her that, hey, you could call me brother. So she's calling out she was calling out for someone to save her, which most likely she was saying brother. And then Yang Yang sensed that someone connected to what happened was still close by, which she was right. It was Scar. So I'm assuming that Scar is actually the person that came to the village when this girl was there, and he's the one that she's calling out for. And because Scar is currently here, the tacit discord formed the frequencies and is now calling out for brother. And then Scar popped out and he told us the main plot line of this story about the village, which seems to be true. And he says that one vulnerable soul, which was the girl, was pushed on a path of destruction by the masses, which I interpret as them pushing her to do those horrible things because they were all selfish and they wanted their wish. And she didn't know that she was doing bad things until she started getting this uneasy feeling. That situation with Sissy, where she had to, you know, combine the frequencies of the tacit discord and human. She was just an innocent little girl. She didn't know what she was doing was really bad until what happened with Sissy, because she was manipulated by her father, which was the shepherd. She was one of the white lambs that turned into a black lamb, the one different from the rest of the flock, being used to manipulate the villagers because of her powers to control frequency. And then later on, Chixia tells us about the Qichi village case files and says that it happened before the magistrate even took office. So this was a long time ago, and they said that the crooks were brought to justice, which was probably the villagers that were making the sacrifices, and the rest of the villagers were relocated to different settlements. And what's crazy is there wasn't any information about the little girl, as if like all the villagers just forgot about it. It's crazy. And Yang Yang says that she thinks Scar took her away and she's safe. So I'm not sure. I think Scar waited till this village got to the boiling point and then he saved the little girl, because the little girl would be very useful to the Fraxidus, because, you know, their whole thing is wanting to fuse humans and tacit discords, and that's literally her abilities. But on the other hand, the magistrate seemed to have trusted Scar enough to know that he wouldn't kill us during this meeting. So I wouldn't be surprised if actually he didn't use the little girl for the Fraxidus, because, you know, fusing humans and TDs probably would, you know, be trauma for her considering everything that she just went through. So he probably let her go somewhere else. Which brings me to the whole point of this theory, who I think the mysterious little girl is in these diaries. But before that, before the one that I'm actually thinking, it could be another option, which is the mysterious girl in red that we saw with Scar, because we literally saw her summon a bunch of TDs. So she's an option. She's definitely an option. But I don't want to talk too much about her because we don't know very much about her yet, but it could be her. But who I think it may be right now is Encore. And I think that if she is the little girl, she might have been reawakened so she wouldn't remember what happened and she wouldn't go on in the world blaming herself for what happened in Qichi village. Because remember, the MC was reawakened multiple times, and the other time Alto told us that we woke up at the Black Shores base. And another thing is, we don't know how old we are as the MC because we were in Jinzhou a year before it was even established, so we don't even know our age. So it isn't crazy to say that Encore might have been reawakened and forgot about everything, and, you know, so she wouldn't blame herself because of the manipulation that her father did to make her do those horrible things. And you may be asking, why Encore? Just look at her. Her whole thing is the little lamb sheeps that she controls, and one is black and one is white, and, you know, she probably was the girl that is the black sheep, which, if it is the case, her ult literally grows sheep horns. Like, Kuro, you can't just make this story in the main plot of the story and then make a character that's the whole motif is literally these white and black lambs and they grow horns, and then Encore isn't her. Like I'm just saying, it's too much to add up for it to not be this. Like, come on, there has to be some sort of connection. And then you go back to her Forte report and they said that they don't know the exact time of Encore's awakening. According to the report, the sheep-like entities that accompany her are considered manifestations of her imaginations and psychological state, and they are believed to be a part of her Forte abilities. Is that not crazy? Like, she literally controls these puppets that are just spawned from her imagination. Which I'm pretty sure, isn't that just making frequencies and controlling those frequencies? And those puppets also talk. So if it is her, I'm just saying. In the report, it also says in times of heightened emotional states, she may manifest sheep horns. And then I look back at her trailer and she's saying things about, you know, saving the village. Bro, there's so much imagery here. And then you see her at the end of that trailer in a room with a tree that looks just like the one in the village. It's just so many things adding up. And I'm pretty sure at the end of that trailer, where she is based off of CBT 1, I'm pretty sure, was the Black Shores base. And back in the past CBTs, before they revamped the whole story, there was a connection. I'm pretty sure there was leaks. Take this with a grain of salt. I'm pretty sure this is facts, but you know, this was said by a leaker because we didn't have proper localization back then, so we didn't really know. But back then they said that Scar and Encore were brother and sister, and then we even had a whole scene that got scrapped between them and they were fighting. So yeah, seeing that, remembering that put the icing on the cake for me. I really think if that is the case, it would not be surprising, but I also wouldn't be surprised if it isn't the case because they scrapped so much shit. But yeah, that's it. Sorry if you heard any background audio and stuff like that. You know, like I said, I'm not a content creator. I'm just a guy that makes videos, so I don't really care about the fucking audio and shit like that and all this mastering, editing and shit. I just like making videos. And if you have any thoughts on this, I'd like to hear your thoughts below. And if you know, did tell me if you agree with the theory, you find it interesting, you hate it, you say, hey, let me know what y'all think. But yeah, bro, I'm out. Be careful out there. It's leaks coming out. I look at them personally because I want to know what's up with the characters. I'm free to play, you feel me? So I got to keep up with stuff like that so I can know what is good to invest in. Hopefully there is no story leaks. I'm not looking for them actively, but I'm hoping that I don't randomly see no story leaks because I hate those. I like character leaks, but story leaks, fuck no. So yeah, peace.